Good evening. I call this special board meeting to order at 5:19 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. All directors are present. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, there is. I'd like to remove item 13, closed session for a future meeting.
Okay.
I'll move the agenda minus number 13.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on to public comment. There are no members of the public online or in person. So we will move on to community reports, and there are no community members online or in person. So we will move on to item 3, consent items. Does anyone have anything they would like to pull?
I'd like to pull B.
Okay. All right. Would someone like to motion to approve with the removal of B?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar minus B.
I'll second. Okay, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. All right, moving on to matters removed, 3B. I gotta go back. Go ahead.
I have one question to ask. Does this include the numbers from the CSDA conference of 2025?
I'm not sure when was the conference.
August.
It should.
Was it paid for in the prior year or this year? Because we're currently requesting up in the future in the agenda
I can answer
for
that.
26.
So it was paid in this year, the year that it,
Okay.
calendar year, yes. Not calendar, fiscal year.
Yeah, July.
I said it right.
Unless the conference registration fee was paid for before, which we normally do.
I don't remember if it was.
But we didn't for that year because there was discussion at that point.
Yes, it was. So it was balanced into this year.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That was all the information I needed. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't answer the question.
That's good.
I'll move B.
All right, I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, number 5, there are no presentations and appointments, so we will move on to 6, discussion and possible acceptance of proposed 26-27 solid waste collection rates. Mr. Cardenas?
I'm going to have Jennifer Oakes cover this item.
Thank you, George. So this is, we're bringing this item forward. This is approval of our solid waste rates. This is required by Water and Government Code, Government Code, and we are required to, these rates were previously approved by the board, and this is just an increase in the CPI. And so we're bringing this forward for approval.
All right, any questions, discussion? No?
It looks like a minimal amount.
Okay. Does someone want a motion?
I'll make a hold on. I'll make a motion for the proposed rate increase 2026 and 2027 for this year. Is that the motion you needed, Madam President?
Is that okay?
Solid waste.
For commercial and for commercial solid waste rate?
Yes.
You're good.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to 6B, discussion and possible action to approve Civic Center project request change order 005 parking lot rehabilitation extension. Mr. Cardenas?
Thank you. So as you noticed, the project is moving along with the Civic Center project. There is a part of the scope of work is to do the improvement transition from the storm drain that's in the parking lot for the park. Great adjustments to make that work. So there are some improvements onto the Phelan Park site up to the edge. You've probably seen where the fence is erected there. There is a gap between the scope of work for spec on the Civic Center project to the enhancement project, and that was for the removal of the driveway approach to comply with the ADA. So there is a gap in between those two. We brought this to the CPM, the construction manager, to kind of look at what it would cost to improve the whole parking lot. So let's just say the third, the middle part, just to complete the park rehab as far as the asphalt. They came back with a cost of $127 and some change for the removal and replacement. With that would include extending the parking lot another 6 feet to the west, adding curb on the west side and curb on the east side. So that was a change order on that for the contractor. They tentatively have it scheduled to work on that parking lot on the 26th. So it is kind of figure it's a good time now to kind of bring this to the board to have that done during that phase. It wasn't really addressed during the enhancement. We weren't sure what the design completion for the Civic Center would look like. And then it was kind of left unknown whether we should move forward with that. But we think it's just, it's probably just a good idea to go in there and complete that. About 4 or 5 years ago, we did have a plan to rehab the full parking lot with removal, add base, and complete the whole ADA compliance as well, until we got into the Civic Center project as well as the Phelan Park enhancement, and we held off on that. It did go out to bid. We received one bidder, and the board chose to pull it and hold off until we got into the Civic Center project. Currently, it is just on native. I believe it's 4 inches on native. There will be base included in this section as part of the Civic Center extension. I don't want to say I believe that there's base on the enhancement, but we're going to match up to that north line of the enhancement project. So with that, staff is recommending that we have a change order for the $134.57 for the completion of the Phelan Park parking lot.
Okay, questions?
Yeah. So I know we have a contingency for the project, and then how much does this cut into the contingency budget that we have? And what is the amount of the contingency? Is it 10%?
Yeah, the contingency is 10%. Part of that was taken on the switchgear, electrical panel, transformer. That was brought as a change order, though it was anticipated to bring it to the board for the pending items. That's the FF&E and the switchboard or switchgear and the electrical panel. This here would be part of that change order. Currently, if you take out the switchgear, we are in the positive with a lot of the credits that we received throughout this whole process with CPM. We are in the positive, so this will kind of take us into the negative. I would plan to bring to the board a breakdown of what the change orders were. We didn't think it was a good time to bring it to the board with a positive to the change orders if you take out the switchgear. And the switchgear was about $540 Okay, we had a 10%, which equates to the 1.1 million in change orders.
Thank you.
So-
Yeah, I would like to see what we've used on contingency so far, what we budgeted, and where we go once we get the updated numbers into that.
Absolutely. It's probably a good time to bring it to the board as much as we've gone through a little here and a little there, that it'll be kind of more of complete than it was if we had brought it back at every change order. I think right now it's a good benchmark. If we were so far into that contingency, we would have brought it to the board just for the review.
So I'm a little confused. Looks like we're 440,524 into the change order contingency, into the contingency so far. We're gonna add 127 to that, so that's 50% of the contingency already. Now you're saying you're gonna back the switchgear out of there?
Well, when we brought it to the board, there were 2 pending items. Now, whatever pocket it comes in out of, it's still in the same pocket. Whether it's a switchgear and the FF&E that was still pending when it was brought to the board on this project, there is a contingency. It's going to be taken from the contingency. Whether it's taken out, it's still an expense on the district. So we're quite through the project for any major contingency or change orders on the project that would affect the 10%.
I think you're gonna see a lot of change orders when you get to finishes.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have positive change orders still out there, because we're on change order 5 now, right? So we had the switchgear was 1.
That's
We
correct.
had some
So
positive change orders for the pipeline that was put in and some other stuff that we deducted from the contract, I would imagine.
that's correct.
And
Yeah.
that number is not included in the total of the 5.
The total of the change order number 5,
Yeah, we're at 440,000 now. What does that consist of?
the 127 is the cost to come in and
Right, for the parking lot.
parking lot.
But the 440,
The 440 remaining on the contingency,
that we've spent already on contingency.
on what was brought to the board for the switchgear and the electrical panel. That was change order number 1.
So we're waiting for the positives to come in on the water line we put in, and any other positives that we have out there, deductions from the contract.
If I can just add, the other positive credits, let's call it credits, were replacing the rigid conduit to a different type of conduit that saved us about $60,000. We said, yeah, let's do this. But then there were some additives with some minor costs in the change in, let's just say, design, where there was an enclosed area that wasn't enclosed. We asked it to be enclosed, so there was a cost to that. I will bring to you the complete breakdown on each of the positives and the credits and what affected the change orders for the contingency. So the
Good.
positive and negatives.
That'll clear it all up then when we bring
Absolutely.
it in and we go through it. Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. I will motion to approve the change order for the Civic Center parking lot rehabilitation.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, thank you, motion passes. All right, moving on to 6C, consideration and possible approval of board member travel training requests exceeding annual limit. Mr. Cardenas?
Yes, Jennifer Oakes will present on this item.
Thank you, George. This item is being brought forward in accordance with district policy. Anytime there is a possibility that a board member's expenses are going to exceed the approved limit, then we are required to bring this forward, and so that is what we are doing tonight. There are 3 submitted requests with this, and so we need to have approval on which staff can move forward with.
Okay, thank you. All right, questions? Comments?
I would like to add a comment that without the 2025 conference on it, I would be within budget.
Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong, but did we not move it to the next one so that you wouldn't be over budget the year before that?
It was so we would have a discussion over it. We had the discussion after the next calendar, so it bumped into the next calendar.
Okay,
I didn't understand that, but it was, I think it was a calendaring of the board meeting or rescheduling that put it, it was going to be voted on to be over budget and approved or not approved. But because there was a calendaring change of the board meeting, by the time it got to a vote, it was within the next fiscal year, so that's why. But I think we need to do the same thing with this year. This event is actually in next fiscal year budget, and there's time to wait. Why approve it now in this year and put you over?
Because in order to get the good rate for the hotel rooms, it has to be pretty much timed with signing up for at the beginning as the calendar opens.
What I saw in the
Sign up.
deadline dates, it would be after the year, the new year change,
For the registration to open up?
for all of that, yeah, for everything. You'd be available to sign up for everything at the reduced rate. And you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I saw,
The hotel rooms book quickly, and the hotel rooms closest to the event will be booked by July.
okay. But you drive, you have a car. I mean,
It'll add extra times of the day, extra mileage for the thing, and it very well could add additional costs beyond the cost of the hotel there at the location.
I don't think it would be extra cost because you're already paying for we're already paying for the car rental, so there's no extra mileage, right? And then, yeah, it might take 5 minutes to drive. I don't know. I attended the last conference in a different hotel, and it wasn't convenient, but it wasn't bad. But I still think that you can attend the conference if we hold off on number 3 and keep you in budget, because if we pay this in this year's budget, you're going to go over next year again. And yeah, I think you're going to go over next year again.
It
So
will
I think
actually
this needs
shift
to
that I will
go.
be within balance of that year if I don't book, if I book next, the 27 conference at this time, would be budgeting, and it would just shift it into the window that I would be within budget.
So you want to be over budget this year so you can be,
But in budget moving forward from now on, because.
It's really the same thing.
Because the meeting last year would have been in fiscal year 25, 26 to 26, well, it would have been 24 to 25, had that meeting been scheduled properly, like it was already planned to be. Because it got moved, I should not be penalized in this year's budgeting, because it probably would have been approved that June and not in July.
you don't know if it would be approved because they had to get an approval and there wasn't a vote, so you're not really sure which way that would have gone. But last year, did you have to stay at a different hotel?
Yes, I did. I had to stay within the same property, but the other entire side of the property that was not easily accessed to the property. All the shuttle buses stop at about the time the conference is in, so I have absolutely no time to interact with any of the other attendees without making a walk all the way across the property or driving and paying for additional parking at the location versus a one-time parking fee. I'd have to be paying at the location and at my hotel for the parking. So it would add extra expenses for the parking each day at the event, in addition to paying for parking at the hotel that I'm at.
So if we pay this in this year's budget and you go over, looks like $2,200, if this is real numbers. I don't think these are full numbers, right? there's still food and all that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so there'd be more expenses than this. You're saying that you want to go over budget this year and then use all of the budget next year too? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying that anything I plan next year, I wouldn't be planning the 27 conference. The way their conference lines up, it's best to pay it in the prior year's fiscal calendar year, because our fiscal calendar ends end of June. The conferences are in August. If you wait till July to book, I'm looking at 2 separate parking fees at the place I'm at, and additionally at the location of the conference.
But it'll keep us in budget.
Let's do change order. Oh, sorry.
What's that?
I'm fine with that.
I said do change order.
Do a change order? How do we get one of those, George?
We don't. We don't get
We
a change
don't.
order. So, my thought process was kind of the same about just approving the 2 ASB CSD meetings and then postponing
Madam President, I'm
approval.
sorry. There's only room to actually, David consulted me, or talked to me earlier, and he said there's only enough for 1 approval of the CSD meetings.
To be in budget, right? That's what I thought.
Right, but it doesn't mean we can't approve the other one.
But it's
over
true,
budget.
we'll be over budget, but we could approve it.
Just
Because we talked about this time sorry, interrupt.
No, you're fine.
We talked about the same thing this time last year, and we talked about how we didn't want to have to police each other, that we're going to police ourselves. So as we schedule these events, we need to keep ourselves within budget. That was the plan, or the agreement. In addition, we upped the number for our annual expenses.
And with that was the understanding that I could bring it back and get approvals for it
We always
without a
can.
major battle.
Anybody.
Yeah, which is what you're
anybody
doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Which is what you're doing, but I still feel like we need to be responsible for our expenses, which is what this is. You have added expenses at every event, which I don't have a problem with, but it takes away from your total number. And that might be why you're
Yes, I'm being penalized
feeling,
because I'm disabled.
no, that's not what
That's
I'm saying.
exactly
That
what you're
is-
talking about there.
No.
You want to go
Let's-
there?
No,
That
we're
is
not,
not what I
we're not
said.
doing that. We're not doing that.
I'm just saying, I don't have a problem with what you're doing. I'm just saying you still have to stay within budget like the rest of us.
I'm done talking. I'll let you guys decide. The 4 of you guys decide it. I'm going to vote yes to going for all 3 of them. You 4 decide it.
I don't know, does anybody else have opinion? I don't want to be the only one talking.
My opinion was that, I thought it would be best to approve the 2 ASB CSD dinners for this fiscal year and then approve the conference on the next fiscal year, since early bird registration does not close until July 22nd.
And without early bird registration, we'll add additional costs to the event that would very possibly throw me over budget next year.
Can I ask a question? On hotels, do they bill you right then, or do they bill you when you show up with your card?
So, this one. So normally, we pay a deposit for the first night, and the remainder balance gets paid when they arrive at the hotel, or when the last day of the hotel.
And what is a nightly? It's probably here.
It's 159.
How much?
159.
Thank you.
So 159 plus tax and any resort fees. So you might be looking at about 210 deposit. And then the remainder of the nights will be charged to the credit card on the last day of the conference.
So it wouldn't be as bad to go over $150, and then the rest goes in next year's.
I want to add another fact that if I'm in a different hotel, I will have trouble transporting the scooter that I am currently medically needing.
Okay.
It would add
So-
extra hassle. I am physically not able to lift that up into the vehicle.
Did you hear what I
Anything
just
like
said?
that. What?
I don't think you heard what I just
No.
said. I said, I don't have a problem going over $150 and secure the hotel And then the rest of the expenses go in the
They
next fiscal year?
don't give the code to get the discounted rate until the conference is paid for.
If I can, sorry.
Sure.
The thing that triggers us being able to pay for the hotel is you have to register, and then they send you a link, and then you can do the hotel. So really, we're talking about you have to do the registration.
So it's another $900.
Mhm.
Okay, so,
I have a suggestion.
oh, hold that thought. Because now you brought it up, and so now I get to comment on it. Remember having this conversation when we went from 5,000 to 7,500. And I remember saying specifically that we had a conversation about any director needing additional support and services. And we were all 100% in agreement that anyone could have additional support and services and it be paid for by
I'll
the
need a
district.
second.
Do not interrupt me. And we were more than happy to have that happen and be paid for by the district with, and I said it, with the caveat that it was included in any director's expenses. And that would be at the limit of $7,500 this year. So I do not like that you would say that, because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. And we are all very good people, and we would never use that particular thing against anyone.
I wasn't the one bringing up my additional costs.
No, I'm talking about using the word disability.
That's what my additional costs primarily are.
Correct. And it was,
And I'm gonna add an additional
Addressed.
cost. If I have to have a second hotel, separate from the event, I will need a second scooter for doing any of my needs outside of the event. So you'll add an extra $400 to $500.
I'm sorry, Angelica, go ahead.
I have a suggestion. We normally do journal entries for prior years for any other expenses. So don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure, and I have to talk to David to be able to move. So if we pay for the conference early, so I'm pretty sure we can move that expense from prior to the new fiscal year. So it can reflect the expense on that current fiscal year. But I have to talk to David and see if we can do that, because we do that for other expenses. When we do the audit, that's a process that we do every year. But I'll get back to you on that. If we pay for her registration early, to find a way for those expenses to be moved to the new fiscal year once the funds are available for the fiscal year.
But you're asking us to approve it and we don't know.
No, I'm just suggesting,
Yeah.
but I have to double check with David, like I said.
You guys are awfully quiet.
I'm not quite.
No, I know. It's fine. Somebody motioned so we can just vote and move on.
Okay, I'll motion. I motion that we go over budget and do the 2 ASB SCD meetings. And I motion that we save the August for next fiscal year. With the caveat, I don't have a problem if it's done early, if it can be moved to next year. Otherwise, it stays in next year's. Can I say that? I don't know.
I don't see why not.
I don't,
Do we go to
You
West?
could-
Where are we going here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to divert that to Wes.
Yeah. Hi, all. Yeah, motion-wise, that's clear. At least it's clear to me. The real question is if that's clear to you all, who would be voting. it's appropriate though from a legal perspective.
Sounds like we're just gonna journal entry the money into next year's budget, if that's possible, which it should be.
And if it's not possible, then we wait till the next fiscal year and then we have those extra expenses. Hoping it's possible.
Explain.
Explain that?
Yeah.
So we're going to leave here tonight saying that, or what I'm motioning is saying that we will pay for the conference registration and the first night of hotel if it can be journal entered into next fiscal year. If that's not possible, for whatever reason David would say, then we would wait till next fiscal year and pay for it all in next fiscal year. Can we say it again?
Well, so, okay, so if we vote yes now, then everything gets approved with the caveat that it can be moved. If David finds out that it cannot be moved,
Then number 3 would wait to be paid and expensed and reserved next fiscal year, as soon as the calendar year or the fiscal year moves forward.
okay.
So what is that, July 1st? July 1st.
Or
Or,
we can get the answers from the finance supervisor and just bring this back at the next meeting on the 27th. I mean, if there's
I
a,
didn't think we had time. I thought this was it. We have time?
How have the hotels booked?
Early bird registration doesn't end till July 22nd.
But has the hotel already booked out?
There's no way for us to see that.
Okay.
Okay, motion on the table.
I'll second that motion. I'm okay with what she just said.
You don't want to repeat that?
We're gonna pay for it next year if we can, or we're gonna pay for it now and journal entry into next year.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 6D, update on district projects.
yes, I'll start on the Civic Center project. As you've probably seen, framing and wall sheathing have all been completed. The 2 steel beams on the north section of the building has been completed. We're still kind of waiting on the block wall, and that's to receive the blocks itself. So irrigation service completed. As mentioned on the Phelan Park parking lot improvements, that duration is 4 weeks for completion. They will open it up immediately after it's been completed. It's on an expedited schedule, so it could be between 3 to 4 weeks. That's going to be challenging with park visitors, our customers, and the farmers market. But we got to work through it. The next couple of weeks, you'll see the roof joists and sheathing for the roof being completed here real soon. HVAC roof curbs will also be put in. Excavation for the trash enclosure and the south wall, as well as the street lights or parking lot lights. They're moving along so far on schedule, no delays. We're still pending the coordination with SoCal Gas for their connection to the service on Sheep Creek Road. But we are in discussions. They kind of disappeared for a while, and now they reemerged. So we're looking hopeful that that's going to be moving forward. With the help with our district staff on doing some of that trenching on site, will help minimize the costs for some of that utility, on-site utility work. There'll be some credits to that as well. FF&E, that's the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. We're kind of working through that as we speak with Steno Design. We're still on target for the August delivery of the electrical panels and transformer. The office, again, will be out of power for a week during the installation and transfer services, but the portable district generators will keep the office energized and open during this period. So this will be in August. Hopefully, we're not in need of these generators during the peak season, so we'll see how that works out. Any questions on the Civic Center? I can move on to the enhancement. No?
Good.
Enhancement, that's the pickleball court. Landscape has been completed, looking great, by the way. At first I thought there were too many plants, actually not too bad. But I guess give it another year till they mature, then we may say it's too many plants. But it looks great. The construction of the pickleball court was poured this morning. It's kind of interesting, they threw a mix of sand in with the concrete. They had the hopper out there that was all done this morning. I think they had about 80 guys out there on that project. I kid when I said 80, it's probably about 10, 20. The greenhouse and foundation plan, the calculations have been submitted to the county for approval. We have Steno on them to kind of expedite the approval so we can move forward with the greenhouse. Once that is installed, then they'll work on the fence. And that kind of completes the majority of the project except for a light for the pickleball court, and that light is on the east side. And there's some challenges with the overhead electrical that's going to stay in place during the Civic Center project, but completion of the enhancement project. We do have a site visit from the state on July 21st. Just got that confirmed with Jennifer to walk the project for completion. And that is through the per capita grant with the Department of Parks and Recreations. I guess that's the stamp of approval for the grant funding on that. The plan is to have this completed mid-June. To be exact, June 23rd is their given date of completion. And beyond that, they're exceeding their construction allowance on that. That's all I got on the enhancement for you. If I could move on to the expansion, we are in discussions with the park architect, and this is for planning on the grant opportunities. We're going to be organizing workshops for park amenities with local organizations, and that kind of begins the phase design of this project. So we're going to have some workshops. We're working with the park architect to coordinate. This is going to be brought to the Parks Committee here soon for discussion in conjunction with the workshop. So nothing much to add to the expansion. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 7, committee reports. Engineering.
We meet May 28th.
Okay. Finance. We met tonight.
We do.
Just went over the budget, and David and his team did a fantastic job as always. And of course, all of the committees, did their part. So good job on that. Legislative.
We haven't met. We're due to meet in June, but may have a meeting in between if need be.
Got it. And Park and Rec.
We haven't met, we're scheduled to meet next month.
Thank you. And Waste and Recycling.
We haven't met since our last time, and they're in process of scheduling a new meeting.
Perfect. All right. Item 8, Staff and General Managers Report. Anything to add?
Nothing to add, Chris?
Okay, thank you. Director's reports. Director Snyder.
I have nothing to report.
All right. Director Phillips.
Nothing to add?
Vice President Mills.
Nothing to report.
Director Hayes.
Nothing to report.
All right, and I have nothing to report either. Moving on to correspondence and information. Ms. Oaks?
Yes, you can see some of the inserts in the packet that went out with our bills, upcoming summer activities and movies in the park. Our Earth Day art contest is still going on and things like that.
Perfect, thank you. A lot of amazing things getting ready to start firing up. Let's see, review of action items. Were there any prior meeting action items?
The only one we have is the hydraulic model presentation, which staff is still working on.
Okay, and current meeting action items.
We will be bringing back the Civic Center contingency with an update on credits and costs.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then could we potentially add on how Parks is financed, where we draw our revenue from, and then how we look for grant opportunities for Parks?
Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we will set agenda for next meeting, which is May 27th. Does anyone have anything they would like to add? All right, so with no further business before the board, we will adjourn at 6:01 PM. Thank you.